fellow heirs, and welcome back to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, where we are reading through the book of Leviticus. And today we will be reading the 22nd chapter of Leviticus in the NLT version. This chapter completes the instructions for the priest and then moves on into worthy and unworthy offerings. So with that being said, let's start reading. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons to be careful with the sacred gift that the Israelites set apart for me, so they do not bring shame on my holy name. I am the Lord. Give them the following instructions. In all future generations, if any of your descendants is ceremonially unclean when he approaches the sacred offering that the people of Israel consecrate to the Lord, he must be cut off from the presence. I am the Lord. If any of Aaron's descendants has a skin disease or any kind of discharge that makes him ceremonially unclean, he may not eat from the sacred offering until he has been pronounced clean. He also becomes unclean by touching a corpse, or by having an emission of semen, or by touching a small animal that is unclean, or by touching someone who is ceremonially unclean for any reason. The man who is defiled in any of these ways will remain unclean until evening. He may not eat from the sacred offering until he has bathed himself in water. When the sun goes down, he will be ceremonially clean again and may eat from the sacred offering, for this is his food. He may not eat an animal that has died a natural death or has been torn apart by a wild animal, for this would defile him. I am the Lord. The priest must follow my instructions carefully, otherwise they will be punished for their sins and will die for violating my instructions. I am the Lord who makes them holy. No one outside a priest's family may eat the sacred offering. Even guests and hired workers in a priest's home are not allowed to eat them. However, if the priest buys a slave for himself, the slave may eat from the sacred offering. And if his slave have children, they also may share his food. If a priest's daughter marries someone outside the priestly family, she may no longer eat the sacred offering. But if she becomes a widow or is divorced and has no children to support her, and she returns to live in her father's home, and in her youth she may eat her father's food again. Otherwise, no one outside a priest's family may eat the sacred offerings. Any such person who eats the sacred offering without realizing it must pay the priest for the amount eaten, plus an additional 20%. The priest must not let the Israelite defile the sacred offering brought to the Lord by allowing unauthorized people to eat them. This would bring guilt upon them and require them to pay compensation. I am the Lord who makes them holy. Unworthy and worthy offering. And the Lord said to Moses, "Give Aaron and his sons and all the Israelites these instructions, which apply both to the native Israelites and to the foreigners living among you. If you present a gift as a burnt offering to the Lord, whether it is to fulfill a vow or a voluntary offering, you will be accepted only if your offering is a male animal with no defect. It may be a bull, a ram, or a male goat. Do not present an animal with defect, because the Lord will not accept it on your behalf. If you present a peace offering to the Lord from the herd or the flock, whether it is to fulfill a vow or is a voluntary offering, you must offer a perfect animal. It may have no defect of any kind. You must not offer an animal that is blind, crippled, or injured, or that has a wart, a skin sore, or scab. Such animal must never be offered on the altar as a special gift to the Lord. If a bull or ram has a leg that is too long or too short, it may be offered as a voluntary offering, but it may not be offered to fulfill a vow. If an animal has damaged testicles or is castrated, you may not offer it to the Lord. You must never do this in your own land, and you must not accept such an animal from foreigners and then offer it as a sacrifice to your God. Such animals will not be accepted on your behalf, for they are mutilated or defective. And the Lord said to Moses, when a calf or lamb or goat is born, it must be left with its mother for 7 days. From the 8th day on, it will be acceptable as a special gift to the Lord, but you must not slaughter a mother animal and her offspring on the same day, whether from the herd or the flock. When you bring the thanksgiving offering to the Lord, sacrifice it properly so you will be accepted. Eat the entire sacrificial animal on the day it is presented. Do not leave any of it until the next morning. I am the Lord. You must faithfully keep all my commands by putting them into practice, for I am the Lord. Do not bring shame on my holy name, for I will display my holiness among the people of Israel. I am the Lord who makes you holy. It was I who rescued you from the land of Egypt, that I might be your God. I am the Lord. And that concludes the reading of Leviticus 22 in the NLT version. There's a couple of things that stood out to me in this particular chapter, and that's about worthy and unworthy offering. And it just took my mind back to Jesus again, how he was the perfect offering for our sin, void of any blemish or defect. So he was perfect in all his ways. He was clean. There could be no other substitute for Jesus. He was the substitute, and he was the final substitute for us. So I am grateful for that. And also, it made me think of the times when we're reading our word, or we're meditating on scripture, or we're just listening for him, to give him our best. At that time, I feel like we should be in an area where there's no disruptions. We can give him our undivided attention. We have a humble heart and a humble spirit. We're reverencing him, giving him his just due during that time. In other words, not going there with an attitude. We're just humble. We're just, giving him glory and all that he deserved. And so that's another thing that came up in my mind when I thought about this chapter and giving our best to God. So with that being said, I'm going to end it right here. Please let me know what your thoughts are. As you know, iron sharpens irons. You help me, and I'll help you, and we'll grow together. Okay, so please make sure you put your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you again for listening to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, and have a blessed life in Jesus Christ.